This little motherfucker was trying to set me up. This is a little motherfucker who was playing patty cake the previous night.
Your call again, go.
And the previous night. And the previous night with Brian Crow, who comes on, climbs my frame after 11 exemplary contacts with nary a fuck or motherfucker anywhere in sight, and says that I QRM'd him the previous night, supposedly asking if his daughter had big tits. I don't know if he has a fucking daughter or not. Couldn't give a shit. She's probably, syphilitic and mentally defective. And I don't fuck either kind. Okay, and then he goes on, of course, in this diatribe about me having been banned from various American dumbfuck radio sites, having a foul mouth, etc., etc., etc. Oh, I can have a fucking foul mouth. I'm going to have a bigger fucking foul mouth if this continues. We're going to do more than just have a fucking foul mouth when I'm finished with this. So I couldn't believe my fucking ears, Donnie. And I told the son of a bitch so, at some length in colorful Canadian language, as is my right in my Canada, when gratuitously attacked.
Your call again, go.
Anyhow, the son of a bitch was masquerading as Dave, and at other times he came at me as James. Apparently his name is James, but he was masquerading as Dave. He was masquerading as Dave because he wanted plausible deniability. Anyway, I was pissed off, but I was going to let it go at that. Because I didn't initially correlate the fact that I had carbon copied him in the group, having replied to all. Anyhow, a couple of days later, 12th of April, 3 days later, he's not a very bright tool in the shed. It took him several days to figure this out. He sends me a gratuitous email. He sends me a gratuitous email saying, "You don't even know me. I have never made a negative statement regarding anyone's race. Who the fuck cares about your race? I cared about him climbing my frame, etc., etc." He says he's contacted the FCC, Industry Canada, Saanich Police, and so on and so forth, and just generally blowing sunshine up my asshole. So I wrote him an email, Donnie. And the email, the real zinger. The email was dated. What day was it? Come on, 13th of April. He wrote it to me on the 12th, I think late in the evening, and I replied to him on the 13th of April. And the title of my email to him and Industry Canada, the FCC, K1MAN,
you call again, please.
Bill Crowell, Christopher Seawright, the buddy who originally started this whole thing, Todd Doherty, Laura Smith, Whitney Tritch, a blind carbon copy, another Smith, the Saanich Police, and Minister of Industry. The title of the email reads, Sieg Heil, Department of Homeland Security, Einsatzgruppenführer. By the way, Donnie, Einsatzgruppenführer is literally translated as the leader of the Einsatzgruppen, the killer squads, scumbags that followed immediately after the front and executed various and sundry that were on their extermination lists. Such as Jews, Poles, homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, and on and on and on it went. So Sieg Heil, DHS Einsatzgruppenführer. And I start off by saying, Achtung, James, also known as Dave Hires. The guy's name is Dave Hires, and he works for DHS, Department of Homeland Security, or as I like to call it, Department of Homeland Insecurity. And the email reads in part as follows. Guten Tag. Guten Tag, you know, up your nose with a rubber hose. I'm feeling fine. Thank you for inferentially asking in your first sentence. Actually, after your email, incidentally, the first I opened this morning. Oh, I got it on the 13th. Okay. The first I opened this morning, I'm feeling sehr good. How are you feeling? To jump to answer the question in your last sentence, Alpha to Omega wise and or otherwise, and keeping in mind that you apparently worked for the Ordnungspolizei, the order police, I intend to round up the usual suspects, you chiefly among them. But before doing that, we're going to play Gestapo. You played Gestapo in grade school, didn't you? You know, the game where you are asked a question, give an answer, get smacked about the head to the screams of, "You lie!" And then the game starts all over again? Of course you know about it, because you and yours occasionally play it still in your day job at DHS. And because you truly do lie, like the immature American piece of shit that you are. But I digress. So, now the questions and a few richly deserved observations. Who was the fellow amateur radio operator who advised you that I posted the passage you cite? Let me explain. After he climbed my frame on air, I made him famous by putting him on my website. A one-liner only, mind you, because, you know, I am a self-effacing kind of guy. So that's why I asked that question. In the language of the up-your-nose-with-a-rubber-hose crowd, we know everything, but we still demand an answer, H.I. But why do you prefer to rely on hearsay rather than viewing the original material with your own two, as the case likely may be, 4 eyes? Are you afraid that you don't have the intellectual horsepower to connect the dots? They're color-coded for American fucktards like you. Never mind comprehend their meaning. And is that what you and yours do in your day job at the Department of Heimat, Sicherheitspolizei? That was rhetorical. No need to answer this question, but the smacks about the head are still richly deserved. Remember, Donnie, this is going to the Polizei, this is going to the FCC, this is going to Industry Canada, this is going to various and sundry, including, mon cher ami, le ministre de Industrie Canada. Anyhow, you say that I don't know you. That is both correct and demonstrably wrong. I'll explain why wrong in brief, and unlike your disingenuous missive, on topic. And then I continue. For your information, I do a lot more listening than transmitting on 20 meters. And then I start on 7 April this year, well after I started to call CQ on a clear frequency, my correspondents and I were viciously attacked by Brian Crow, K3VR, and Tom Watley, N1FM, former N1SOB, overtly, etc., etc. And the gist of that I already read you. So then I go at the very bottom of that, after I say I thought, a poditat, and after I explained how he came to climb my frame on frequency, being the unlucky 12th. 12 is a very strange number in Western thought, Donnie. Very strange. I think we should get rid of 12. Skip 12 and 13 perhaps for good measure. Anyhow, I explained what transpired on air, and I said to him, I could not believe my fucking ears and told you so, at some length, in colorful Canadian language, as is my right in my Canada when gratuitously attacked. And he was talking about, I supposedly made comments about his daughter having big tits. And then the son of a fucking bitch on air said she was 11 years old. And that was highly inappropriate. Hey, buddy, I kept saying to him, I don't care how old she is. As long as she's got big tits, that's the first item of discussion. After that, everything is up for negotiation. It's the sine qua non, as the shysters are wont to say. There's a phrase in Latin for you assholes. Sine qua non. Sine qua non. Brian doesn't know it, and Tom motherfucker Watley didn't learn it in his basket weaving diploma in legal studies, not to be confused, a degree in law. But I do digress. I could not believe my fucking ears, Donnie, and told him so. Told you so. I'm talking to him directly. At some length, in colorful Canadian language, as is thy right in my Canada, when gratuitously attacked. By the way, did I mention Dave/James that you're a patent liar? Have shit for brains? And if you don't smarten up, I'll have your security classification reduced to rumor. So, what will you do now? I don't fundamentally know, of course, but if I were you, and if I were interested in closing down this dog and pony show before it gets worse, I would seriously consider doing the following. 1, apologizing to me on air for attacking me on air, as outlined above. I'm usually lately around 14273, starting at such and such hours, as you well know. Number 2, writing me a short but unequivocal apology to the same effect, with CC and BCC to whoever you sent this to, and any of its precursors, and removing, number 3, removing the highly inappropriate picture of yourself on Queer Z in the slightly off-colored Gestapo-like uniform in front of the logo of the Department of Heimat Sicherheitspolizei, DHS, in other words. In exchange, say I, after a couple of weeks, I would undertake to remove the short one-liner reference about which you complain so unreasonably and so transparently off-topic. The choice is entirely yours. Consider yourself very lucky that I even give you a choice. Think long and hard. Choose wisely. Govern yourself accordingly. And remember that when alles ist in Ordnung, no one is safe. Translated, when all is in order, no one is safe. And I finish off by saying, 7-3, stand at ease, and good luck in the contest, as your Psycho Brian Crow K3 Vomit Radio is wont to say. And then I sign it, and then I put my alphabet soup of credentials, and then I put my call sign, and then I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sublinks that are of germane interest to the topic at hand. BCC witnesses, CCI Industry Canada Police, and others. So, Donnie, now you know the other half of the story about James Hires. What the fuck is his call sign? James Hires, a Kilo Echo 5 Whiskey Romeo Tango, and his 11-year-old cock-sucking daughter who seems to have big tits. Stop whining. I know it's been a bit long-winded, Donnie, but I hope I don't fucking have to repeat myself. This is for the fucktards. I hope I don't have to fucking repeat myself, you motherfuckers. ever again. Good luck in the fucking contest. Donny, how copy? November 4, Tips and Transistors. This is Radio Canada defending its all fucking own. Victor Echo 7, Kilo, Fucker, Mike. Back to you, Donny.